Hello, so welcome everyone. So today we are talking about our two favourite cars and our two worst cars. And I think this is judged by any way we want to judge it. Because who cares? Who cares? And then at the end, what I'd like to do is, based off the four cars, which car you would want to own the most out of my cars. Own. And which car you'd want to drive the most, just as a blast away for the weekend. Because there's always there's ownership, and then there's
the experiencing it, but
I won't mind giving that a go type thing. I'm going to start off with semi-boring, not boring, if that's all right.
Go on.
So it's my first car. So I just passed my test. I had a motorbike before, so I was a little bit older, like 21, 22. And I've got an empty credit card with £1,700 limit. And back in the day, you could get cars for under £2,000 easily. Yeah. And I went out and I saw this bright red Alpha Romeo 146 T-Spark, and I'm like, it's £2,000. But of course, it's an Alpha, so it has a load of faults. And the guy goes, well, it drives. My brother drives it. He says it's good because I trust him. You know, yeah, we all know him. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Well, I've only got 1,700 quid, and he's like, well, if you don't mind the rear electric windows not working and this not working, you can drive away today and keep it. And I'm like, I'll get 300 quid off. And to fix the rear windows, I don't know how, but I cut a wire and they started working. But the left would open the right and the right would open the left. So what I did is I took the switch out, turned it around and put it back in. Job done. I don't know why I didn't change the wires over, but I just turned the switch around instead. And the reason why it's my best car is everyone at that time had little Fiestas or Peugeots, and I had an Alfa Romeo 1.8. It could max out 140, maybe 137 with a couple of people in the car. Upgraded the sound system. It's your first car, it's your first freedom. And I just absolutely loved it. I modded it. All those experiences that come with your first car, I had with that car. And yeah, absolutely. And obviously it was an Alpha Red as well, so got to love that. So that was my first car, my £1,700 Alfa Romeo 1.8 T-Spark, which just means it had double the amount of spark plugs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's for efficiency or just because the engine was crap, so it didn't burn everything, so it had to, because it didn't add any power. It was to do with cleaning the engine.
So you start with a car you like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with a car I hated.
Okay.
One of my worst car, but there's a redemption story about it. You'll see. So the first car, my first banger, the first car I hate. My first Toyota Celica.
Okay.
So I don't have a car. I need a car. And I remember that once upon a time, I worked with a girl, work colleague, who had a Toyota Celica. She hated it because it was so fast. It was scaring her. And in actual fact, she crashed, she almost died. And I don't know why. I'm in Stevenage and I'm thinking, I need one of those. So I start having a look online, and very, very quickly I realized that I don't have the budget for a Mark 6 Celica, the 2-liter, 170 horsepower. But if I scratch the bottom of the barrel, I can afford a Mark 5 with a pop-up headlight.
Oh.
2-liter, 155 horsepower. And I find one at a bargain price. In an ocean of cars I can't afford, I find one at a bargain price. And I can't really explain where it went wrong. So the car could only be viewed at night, not during the day.
That's always good.
The gentleman selling it wouldn't let me go on the road because the car wasn't taxed. And the car was parked on a supermarket's car park.
Yeah.
So not a single red flag, right?
Not a single red flag, yeah.
And I see that car and I'm like, it's a good looking car for what I can see because it's dark. I'm on a car park. And I drive the car at 5 miles per hour and it feels good, right?
I bet it does, yeah. No knocks and noises or anything.
No. First gear, I can get the second gear. Okay, yeah. Pop-up headlight, I'm buying it. And I'm driving back to Stevenage. I'm following Fern, a work colleague of mine. She's giving me a lift there. I don't know the way back home. I'm following her, and she's driving the oldest Renault 19 diesel you can imagine.
Okay.
And as soon as I see a road sign, Stevenage, I'm like, I'm going to show what speed is. And I drop a gear down, get in fourth gear, mash the accelerator pedal, and the car makes more noise but doesn't go faster. And I mean it, like no acceleration whatsoever. Long story short, it cost me extra £1,000 to get the car to kind of work. It had the wrong spark plugs, the wrong leads, ignition leads. I get it to work. I don't remember Formula One or Quick Fit, whatever. I get it to work. I drive it home. And it drives fine. I'm like, wow, speed. On the way from the shop that repaired it to my home, I get a speeding ticket.
Oh.
The week after that, I have to call the AA. I'm stranded on the side of the road. The handbrake kept on engaging and disengaging the rear drums, right? And then the head gasket went.
So everything that could go wrong went wrong with that car.
Everything that could go wrong with that car went wrong. I think I kept it 6 months before it just died.
Yeah.
And I have somewhere on a phone pictures of David sitting on the engine with the bonnet taken off and he's taking the thing apart. We're about to scrap it.
Wow.
So it had pop-up headlight though, but by 1990, Toyota Celica GTI, probably one of the worst cars I've ever had.
Cool. No, that's, okay. So I suppose my bad car isn't part of the story same. So story starts, I bought a Saab, quite liked it, it blew up. Bought a Ford Cougar, it blew up. And then I thought, I'll get a sensible cheap car, because I needed a cheap car because I was getting married and had no money at the time. Everything was plunging into the wedding. So I thought, Peugeots are cheap. They're not going to go bang. I'm not stop buying the coupes. I'll buy a sensible. You'd tell I wasn't interested in the car because I can't tell you what engine it was. I can't even tell you if it was petrol or diesel. I can't remember what it was. But it had a load of toys, like, back in the day, electric wind mirrors and whatever it was. It was towards the top of the. I don't know what a Peugeot top of the range is. I could tell you for every other car, but I don't know what this was.
Yeah.
Just black Peugeot 307 or a 308. Don't know which.
Okay.
And the problem with it was it drove okay, didn't make any weird noises, but doing more than 20 miles an hour around any kind of bend, the back would step out.
Yo.
Front wheel drive, but the back would step out and it'd get you by surprise because you're like, well, am I going fast? And it would just step out. And I think ever since I owned that car, and I had to have it for like 6 or 9 months, it made me, I suppose, a better driver because I go slower. Because beforehand I was a boy racing. After that car, you couldn't go fast, and you just
snap over steer.
Yeah, snap. Yeah, I don't know what it was because you think it understeer, but it was oversteer.
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with it. And the other thing with it was like, cool, it's got a 6-disc changer. That's quite cool. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. Which then means the radio was crap, and I couldn't play a CD, and of course it wouldn't take tapes because it was a CD disc changer thing. So that was awful. Everything was just pants about it. And then to make things worse was when I went to sell it, sold it to some people, didn't get anywhere near what I wanted for it, but I just wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then like 9 months later, a load of bills came through from the police saying it's not insured, it's not this, it's not that. And whoever bought it, I think I was an idiot. I think they said, we'll complete the V5 for you and stuff. And obviously they didn't. the car was involved in this and involved in that, and I'm like, oh god, court cases. So it's one of those cars that was crap, and then kept being crap after I'd sold it as well. So yeah, just for everyone on here, yeah, do your V5 yourself and send it off immediately. But of course, because I didn't do the V5, I didn't get the tax rebate, because back in the day you pre-bought the tax for the year, so I didn't get that. So it ended up being just a very expensive crap car that I only have negative memories of. I don't have any nice memories of that at all, that car. So yeah, that's why it's my top crap car, because it's a nothing car. But it's not only was it a nothing car, it was a dangerous nothing car.
Wow. And then you've done a hard time because you were involved in some bank heist or something.
I think it was something like that, yeah. And I'm like, and I'm like, what? Yeah, I think I had to send off loads of paperwork and stuff and documentation and where I was and this, that, and the other. It was, yeah, immensely painful and potentially catastrophic. But in the end, it was, it was all okay. I didn't have to pay anything. But yeah, it was crap cars.
Wow, that's a story.
So cheer me up. Give me a good car. Give me a good car.
I'm giving you a good car. It's redemption time for the Celica. So obviously, the white Celica, the 1990 Celica was scrapped. And you know what? The few hours I had it when the car worked well, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the way that car handled for a front wheel car. It could be very playful. It was very safe driving normally, but it could be very playful and very happy if you wanted to. Very controllable. 155 horsepower, so it's not immense, but twin cam.
Yeah.
So beyond 5,500 RPM, the engine would kind of wake up and you'd get a little push. Really like the car. Comfortable, 5 seats, big boot. And David called me one day and is like, hey, check the picture I just sent to you. And it's a turquoise 1992 Celica GTI. So same car, just different color. And he's like, honest, it belongs to an old lady. And she's about to move to Spain.
Yeah.
She's kept that car for years because her late husband bought it for her. She's not looking out to make money. She's looking out for somebody who will take care of the car. I'm like, pick me. Went to speak to her with David and all that, and I got the car for £500 with a brand new MOT.
Bargain.
And that car, beyond the head gasket that went off, because it went off on every single one of my car, beyond the head gasket that had to be changed before it got too bad, that car was rock solid. And
how many miles do you reckon you put in it?
Oh my God, probably 40,000. I took that car to Bristol, to Brighton, up north, Belgium. I went to rescue a damsel in distress, one night when all the roads were being shut down because of the snow. A lot of adventures with that car, and we were talking about it last time. It's the adventures you have with that car, the memories you build with that car that are important. And that car, on a serious note, is one of my favorite. So many memories, good memories, so many road trips, and it never ever let me down.
Yeah.
So we go from one of the worst cars I've ever had, Celica GTI Mark V, to the best one, Celica GTI Mark V.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, how you can have the same car but with different feelings about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that kind of makes sense. So I want to end on a high, so I'm going to give you another negative.
Another bad one.
Yeah. And again, this is a bad one because I wanted it to be an amazing car. So
when you build up the expectation yourself, it's dangerous, isn't it?
Just turned 40, and I was like, right, got a bit of cash. What do I want? I thought, well, I kind of want a 911, but I don't want the ongoing cost of a 911. So I thought, well, I like a Ford Mustang, but my daughter doesn't like noisy cars and this, that, and the other. And I thought, well, I want toys. I like 4-wheel drive. I like 6 cylinders. I like turbos. Had to be a convertible because obviously it's your midlife crisis car.
Yeah.
And I thought I wanted to be a bit flashy, so I was shopping around and I ended up getting a Mercedes E450 from Mercedes. So it was still under warranty, couple of years old, metallic blue, 19 or 20-inch alloys. The full, they do it as an AMG engine, but it was slightly detuned, the E450, so it's 385 horsepower. It was a premium plus, so it had the better sound system, and it had, cream leather because it has to have cream leather for me if you want.
Nice.
Loads and loads of toys, upgraded everything on it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be special. So it gets delivered. I test drove a load. I test drove the 300. I test drove the 400. I never test drove the 450, but I thought, wait, it's basically 400 with a bit more, so that'd be cool. And it gets delivered from Bournemouth because Bournemouth had a better PCP and they had a little bit more off, and so it just worked out a better package for me. And I thought, buying it from Mercedes, that would be great. I've got 2 local Mercedes garages to me, so if anything goes wrong, I can sort it out. So it gets delivered, brilliant, super shiny. And then I go for the first kind of drive and it's all fine. And then I go for a long cruise and I'm like, something feels a bit weird.
Oh.
And I'm like, and this is when the trouble starts. And I'm like, this is just like, I don't know what this is. And it's like a rumbling sensation.
Okay.
And I'm like, And so I phone the Mercedes up and they're like, well, it could be this, it could be that. And I'm like, oh, is it serious? They're like, well, don't drive it. But under Mercedes, they're very good. They send out a technician. Technician looks at it and goes, oh, I think it's X.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh. So loads it up, takes it back to Bournemouth.
Jesus.
Bournemouth would have it. And what it is, it's basically 4 buckled wheels.
Wow.
So they fix the 4 buckled wheels, and apparently these 20-inch alloys are known to any kind of bump. They will, because they're so thin and fragile, they just buckle really quickly. But it must have come to me pre-buckled. So they had that, and it had 2 other little minor things. I can't remember what it was with it. So I'm like, oh, this isn't the best experience for my midlife crisis. I've spent a lot of money on it. It's under warranty, so it's not new, but it's under 2 years old. So it goes from a 75 grand car down to about 45, 50 grand car. Nice. So someone's lost 25 grand over 2 years. And I'm like, okay, right. So get it back, and then I notice there's some weird scratches on it. And then there's this and there's that. And they're like, oh, your local dealer will sort that out. So the local dealer sorts that out. I get A-class. I'm paying like $550 a month finance on this while not having a car, driving around in an A-class. So getting a bit annoyed. And then I have it for a bit longer. And then there's a weird engine knocking noise. Oh. So I take him to my local mechanic just to double check I'm not being an idiot. And he's like, oh, you can see this thing's vibrating like this.
Yeah.
When you lift the bonnet up. Take it to Mercedes. They have it for 2 weeks. Can't find anything wrong with it. And I'm like, our head mechanics looked at it, Mr. Owen. Okay. So this junior guy walks me out to my car and I went, can I just double check something? Turn the engine on, open the bonnet, and at this point it's worse, and it's literally wobbling like this. And you can see it, and I think it's one of the timing belts or whatever they want to call it. And the guy looks at it and he goes, yeah, I can see that. I went, why can't your head mechanic see that? And so they have to order a load of new parts from Germany. That's another 4 weeks without the car. And at this point, I've had a few really good road trips in it. Went to Belgium and stuff like that. So I got what I wanted out of it. But at this point, I'm just like, this is meant to be, I bought an expensive car from a dealership because I wanted peace of mind and a nice car. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have just bought an old 911.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's costing me a fortune. I'm now no longer in love with it because every time I drive it, there's a problem. And it's not like a classic car where you drive it, there's a problem, and you're like, hey, that's cool, because a bit like your RX-8 where, oh, there's a problem, I get to buy something new for it. I get to upgrade this. It's like, oh, there's another problem. I've got to keep paying the $550 a month, and they're going to give me an A-class back or an electric little car, and I haven't got my convertible that I wanted. So in the end, I got some money back from Mercedes, sold it, and I was in positive equity. But I reckon over that 9 months, I probably lost $5-6 grand. Probably plus payments, probably, yeah. And
What
so
midlife crisis make us do?
that's why I went from that to a Fiat 500e through a company work scheme, because complete peace of mind. I've gone from dream car, so I still want my midlife crisis car.
Yeah.
It won't be a Mercedes now. It'll either be a Mustang or a 911. I can't decide between the two. Mustang's kind of, I might win on heart and brain.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird when you go 5 litre Mustang makes more logic sense. It's the logical answer to the question.
We got to a point where not many modern cars are actually reliable. No. So you go for a relatively simpler American engine, and suddenly life seems simpler.
Yeah. You know, that's it. Just go for an absolute bulletproof 5 litre V8.
Yeah.
No turbos to worry about. There's little niggles because I'm on a few forums, but again, those niggles tend to be, once this happens, you can upgrade it to this. Once this happens, you can upgrade it to this. And you're like, that's kind of cool. Where I'm not too sure whether Porsches are like that, whether, once this happens, it's 10 grand down the drain. I mean, it might not be. I might have to look into it a bit more.
What's the figure? I think it's 70 or 75% of 911s ever built are still on the road. So it might be expensive to maintain, but they have a good reputation for reliability.
Yeah.
I mean, a Porsche part is a Porsche part. I bet it's not cheap.
True. So
I think they're bulletproof cars.
So that's my negative car. Then I'll end on another positive one afterwards.
Okay, so I'll do another bad one then. Mitsubishi FTO Mivec. So I really wanted that car.
I love those cars.
Oh, I got a tax rebate, and you have several £1,000 sitting on your bank account, and suddenly it burns your fingers.
Yeah, it does.
Should I invest it? Maybe I should save it. Let me have a look at the cash size. Ooh, a car. I have absolutely no knowledge of whatsoever. And I picked up a Mitsubishi FTO Mivec, 2-liter V6, semi-automatic gearbox, so slushmatic, 4 gears, 200 horsepower.
With a limited top speed of like 120, and it'd rev out, and you would only be in 3 out of 4 gears. If you
Not that I've ever found out, but yeah. And took the car out, and the first few weeks were just, oh my god, it was perfect. It made me fall in love with the V6.
Yeah,
it's velvety low down the revs, and then it just howls when you push it. And it was a nice car to drive. The only thing I kind of found out was when it was raining and I drive in a puddle. One, the car was trying to kill me, even at slow speed. But I think that was down to the previous owner fitting the cheapest tires he could find on the car. So it's good, isn't it? Cheap tires, sports cars, that's a good combination.
Yeah.
The other thing was, if it was nighttime and I drive over a puddle, all of the light would dim. So I went to the local Mitsubishi garage, which shows my lack of understanding at the time.
Yeah.
If you buy a grey import car, you don't go to the local dealership, you go to a specialist. And I went to the local dealership, and they didn't have a clue. And they fiddled with it, they repaired the wiring loom, I don't know what else they did. But as soon as the car stopped stalling every time I drove over a puddle, it started cutting off even when it was dry and sunny. As soon as that slowed down, it would stall. So back to Mitsubishi I go. And they're like, we removed the top cover, a lot of gunk in there. We cleaned it up and all that. Should be better. And it was kind of better, but I had to drive around with a jump starter pack, just in case.
Just in case, yeah.
Because I completely had lost my confidence in the car. And it got to a point in my life, on top of that, professionally, I had hit a dead end, and I was about to move back to Belgium.
Right.
So I go back to Mitsubishi and I'm like, any normal person would have said, just take that car. I'll take something cheap and reliable. I went to Mitsubishi. I was like, you need to sort it out because I'm moving foreign country and I need a reliable car. And I don't know what they did, but I went to pick it up. And there was a knocking noise coming from the engine. It was like steel on steel.
Okay, yeah.
I literally just went round and round about, went back to Mitsubishi and I was like, listen to this. And he was like, it's normal, those engines are very tappety.
Tappety.
It's a tappet. It's normal. And I'm like, it wasn't that tappety when I brought it to you. It's like, no, it's fine, it's perfect. Okay. 2 days later, I'm getting on the ferry with my whole life in the back of the car, moving back to Belgium temporarily. Get off the ferry on the other side. I'm on a French motorway, and that tappety noise is getting louder and louder. It proper feels like steel on steel. What is going on? And start driving. It's bad when you start driving at the speed limit. And then it was still making a lot of noise, so I start slowing down. At some point, I'm in Belgium, near Bruges. And I'm like, I still have to drive 3 hours. I'm not going to drive at 60 or 50 miles per hour. I'll never get home. And I should have, because there's no other way of describing it. The engine exploded.
Did it have no oil in it then? Was it oil?
They loosened something up when they took the top cover off. And it looks like something, I don't know, but something ended up falling into one of the cylinder.
Oh.
And at the compression point, it exited the engine through the side of the engine. So the engine literally exploded. The cylinder just popped open.
Did you get any
flames?
Did you get any money back?
Side of the engine.
Did you get any money back from the garage?
Nothing, because I was in Belgium. I was skint. I didn't have a first penny to go back to England and talk to them about it. Certainly not tow the car back to England. I had to look at some points like maybe I could get, an engine second-hand in England, ship it to Belgium. I didn't have a first penny. The car was crushed in Belgium.
Yeah.
And I really wanted that car. I had so much hope for it.
Yeah, because the problem with that is you think about them now, they're pretty cars. As a work of art, because they're not that big, I'd love to get one of them and you just have this shell, rotate it 50 degrees and put it on the wall.
It's a gorgeous, yeah. I tell you what, I would get another FTO if I had, a bit of spare cash. But now
I might have one of them in my top 10 when we do Jap cars.
I know now. I have the contact. I know there are 3 good specialists in the UK.
Yeah.
And I would not buy the car from anybody else than that. And that car would be vetted by the the FTO UK Owners Club.
Yeah.
It's a specialist car, and you go through specialists. That's all I can say about it. But yeah, one of the worst car I've had, and I don't think it's the car's fault. But there you go.
So it's irony that you've had 2 Japanese cars that aren't that reliable, and I've had a lot of Alphas that have been reliable.
See.
And I was tempted to put I've had 2 Alpha Spiders. I was tempted to put one of my Spiders as my top favourite car.
Nice.
But actually, one of my favourites was a Seat Cupra, the Ateca.
Okay.
Seat
Ateca
Cupra or Cupra Ateca. I don't know which way around it is. It's before Ateca. Before Cupra was completely separate, and it was just
yeah.
And the reason that came about was I'm car shopping because my car was going back. What was happening? I had a company car, but COVID hit, so I wasn't doing the mileage. And this is when cars crashed, before cars went expensive in COVID, because they crashed first and then they went expensive. And so I thought, well, there's no point buying how much I was paying for a company car, because that's back when I was doing 20, 30,000 miles a year. Everything's going teams, and I think it will go teams afterwards, and I was right about that. And I had a nice BMW 530e, which we'll probably talk about hybrids and electrics later on, but it was basically, when it's not charged up, it's just a very slow, heavy car. And when it's charged up, it's just a slightly faster, heavy, slower car. But I thought, I fancy something fun. So I was just going around, and I was just going to go see what special offers do you have on?
Yeah.
Because I remember buying a BMW, I got a special offer. I just wanted to know what the special offers are. And lucky enough, the guy at Sarah just knew what he was talking about. So he went, right, let's have a look. And so rather than the conversation of, oh, let me speak to my finance manager backwards and forwards, he was literally playing with the computer at the time.
Okay.
So I think it was £350 or £500 deposit, £350 a month for just under £40,000 car.
Okay, nice.
Included tax. And it's got the Golf R engine, so it was 305 horsepower, DSG gearbox. I test drove the Leon Cupra, which was the estate with the pan roof, and that was brilliant, but it was quite low down, and I knew my wife would feel sick. I just had a kid, so getting something slightly higher, really easy getting them in and out of the car. You know, I say I'm semi-tall, I'm 6 foot, so some people say that's tall, but I just think that's average height. So really easy getting in and out, decent boot space for the prams and the buggies and everything else, but decent MPG, decent finance, sat nav was, and I didn't spec it up because as soon as you spec it up over 40 grand, it makes such a big difference to the tax because you get luxury tax because it's sub 40. So, and I just loved it. I had it on a 2-year lease. I should have extended for an extra year, but I didn't, and that's my worst mistake because I loved the car. I think it looked cool. It looked a little bit different for your normal SUVs. Every now and then people go, oh, what's that? Seats were comfy. It was comfortable if you don't rag it. If you put it in sports mode, it made the pops and crackles and everything else.
Okay.
It was super comfy, super fast, never saw a fault on it in my life. Like I said, decent MPG, decent sized fuel tank, could fit everything in that you wanted to fit in. Not a thing wrong with it. Like, it was everything that you'd want a family car to be. I just did the stupid thing of, and I think the issue where I make it even worse is I got out of that into the Mercedes.
Oh.
And if I just kept that for an extra year, because I could have extended the lease, I wouldn't have had the Mercedes. I would be X thousands up, never having that bad experience. But
then you'd make the mistake of still wanting a Mercedes. You wouldn't have learned.
Yeah, live and learn. But yeah, it was, and it's one of those things where I like changing cars. I know, like, you've had the same Celica's and you've had multiple RX. I don't like having the same car twice, but I'm like, actually, if when this car was up, I was looking around at Ateca's because I'm like, actually, if I could still get it for the same price.
Yeah.
But the problem is now they're £500-600 a month, not £350. But yeah, I think that's one of my favourite cars because it didn't miss a beat. It was cheap, it was fast, it was comfortable, whether you're doing motorway driving or country lane driving, because it's not massive SUV. It's quite probably same size as a Focus, just a little bit taller, or Golf slightly taller. So yeah, that was probably one of my favourites because did some really good stuff. Obviously, memories when you have a kid as well, all that fun stuff. And yeah, getting prams and stuff into the back of a car is a nightmare. But if you've got an SUV, it's just throw it in, job done. Off you go.
Funny how priorities change with the family, hey?
Yeah.
Well, my last good car then. Favorite car? Probably favorite out of the whole crop. Favorite ahead of my old Celica, and it's my current car. So I'm actually lucky. I'm driving one of the best cars I've ever had, and that's my RX-8. A lot of reasons why I like this car. The first thing is, I know beauty is in the beholder's eyes, but it's a beautiful car. I think it's a beautiful car. It's definitely completely different from anything you see on the road right now.
Yeah.
Most cars out there just look the same nowadays. It's just the same shape because it's designed by the same computer, and
I suppose the nearest car it is today would probably be the Rolls-Royce Wraith, because that's got suicide doors, rear-wheel drive.
I like the associations, yeah. Mine drinks more petrol though. But yeah.
than a 12 cylinder.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's different. It's a beautiful car. The handling is absolutely fantastic. It's not the fastest car on a straight line, but the handling is fantastic. You have all of the drama with the noise, and you have a lot of noises in RX-8. You know, the engine and the transmission whine, the engine whines. You've got induction noise, exhaust noise. A lot of drama with the car. It's very throwable. For a sports car, it's actually, unless you really look for the limit, it's actually very safe. It's actually worrying me because there are things I know I get away with in the RX-8. If I were to try it, say with a 911, it would slap me into a hedge at the same speed. Definitely a very, very forgivable car.
Yeah.
And then it dragged me out of my comfort zone. Owning a rotary is completely different. Every day is a school day. You learn new things.
Yeah.
Every day of ownership. It definitely gives you a couple of gray hair because you are paranoid all the time. Is this normal? Is that noise normal? Is it supposed to be like that?
Yeah.
And then you're always researching and talking to guys on forums and whatever. It's definitely a car for passionate people. But I've had the car now. This is my 4th year of ownership. Keep in mind, I had an RX-8 before. And it's the first car I've ever had that I'm like, I don't need to buy another car and change because, I'm like, you're like changing cars on a regular basis.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that RX-8 and I have gone on a journey. I've changed a lot of things on it. And every time you change something, it transforms the car. Even very little change is, even very little changed the car a lot. The impact of small changes or small upgrade is felt way worse or better in the RX-8 than on another car. So I don't feel it's the same car I had 4 years ago.
That's quite cool.
It still handles beautifully, but it sounds differently. It goes in a different way.
Yeah.
This Sunday, I might go to Bury St. Edmund and get it tuned.
Ooh.
It's made me a very poor person, money-wise. But I also have to say, never let me down, never left me stranded anywhere, at home or elsewhere. And I've had a couple of small niggles, but they are old cars niggles.
Yeah.
It's a 17 years old car. I haven't had any of the, touch wood, urgently, I haven't had any of the rotary experience niggles or horror stories people discuss. I mean, I've seen my engine management light come on once.
That's not bad.
And that was sorted, that was a 90 pound issue.
That's all right.
And that was it. So, yeah, great car. If you don't mind doing 21 miles to the gallon.
I do find it's 21 miles per gallon whether you're going fast or slow.
So the best I've ever had was 27. 21 is driving normally, but as you say, driving on the motorway at 60 or 80, it's going to drink the same amount of petrol.
Yeah.
I've known people going into single digits on track day.
Oh yeah. Fun, but
yeah.
That's quite cool. So I'd probably say out of your cars, the one that I'd want the most to drive, and I have driven one, but I can't remember it because my brother-in-law had one, but the FTO. I just remember it sounding and looking pretty. Like
yeah.
And I just think I just feel like that's the kind of car that where I live with all the sweeping roads in a nice FTO, semi-automatic trip wheel, Triptronic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter that the limit's at 120 because actually the way that the roads are around here is just doing the speed limit is nice. So yeah, I'd probably like a weekend with a nice FTO, just cruising around all the B roads around here.
There's a bright orange one around here.
Okay.
And I tell you what, you just spot it straight away. If you don't spot it, you hear it first. If you don't hear it first, you spot it.
Yeah.
And it just stands out on the road. I'm really sorry, but it is a pretty car. It's different. It's rare. And you know the dude is driving it with a big smile on his face. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, 100%. So, which car out of my four would you want to drive the most? Do you think?
I would need to pop my Alpha Cherry.
So you go 146.
It needs to happen. I need to drive an Alpha. I need to drive an Alpha.
We'll have to sort that out for you sometime. I am thinking if this channel gets going, I've got some cool ideas that we could potentially do. But yeah, I think we definitely need to get you in a form of an Alfa Romeo. I'd like to get you in a Spider, the little convertible, because I know you like your 90s. So a little Alpha Spider, even if it's the 2-litre T-Spark.
Pretty car.
Gorgeous car. So I've had two, and I think they're slowly creeping up because there's less and less on the road. So the problem is that when there's less and less, the ones that are on the road are really highly sought after and looked after. But I'd like that as a resto mod.
Oh, okay.
I do love my resto mods.
You do? What would you change?
What would I change? The suspension, the gearbox, the engine.
No, it's an Alpha, but it's not an Alpha.
It depends. If it has the 3.2 in it, because they do it in a 3.2. So if they have the 3.2 Alpha engine, probably all I would do is just want them just to make sure everything's bolted together correctly. And that'd be it. And the original alloys change. But I'd probably put the new Alpha wheels on. They do these circle ones that look stunning.
Nice.
So I'd put them on. But yeah. So I think that's it for this week. I think next week we're doing 90s Japs.
Yes.
I want to say sub 20, but I think I found a load sub 10. I don't know. Do you still want to go 20 or 10?
Ooh. Oh man. Let's try and focus on 10, but if we find one a little bit over,
let's do 10 because I think it's more exciting. I found a few quirkies. I tell you what, I did find a Celica convertible.
Yeah.
Ugly as sin. I like Celicas. I think they look cool.
But
the convertible looks like someone's just hacked it off and gone. Oh,
terrible.
I've got an idea.
Yeah. You know, it's an after school project. It was like we should do we should do a convertible with this. They are ugly.
And I bet you they're really flexible as well.
They are.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, F1, we'll catch you next week. I'm going to end the live. Just going to double check.